forced labor. So they now are going to enslave the Canaanites, and that seems like a good thing because the Canaanites are no longer in power, but the problem is they are not obeying the command that God told them. He told them not to put them in slavery, but to do what? Drive them out. A lot of the stuff that you think you got control of, it's just a matter of time, and that stuff will control you because you don't want to drive it out. And it says they put the Canaanites to forced labor, verse 28b, but they did not drive them out completely. Ephraim, verse 29, did not drive out the Canaanites who are living in Gezer. So the Canaanites lived in Gezer among them. Do y'all see this? Verse 30, Zebulun did not drive out the inhabitants of Kitron or the inhabitants of Naholo. So the Canaanites lived among them and became subject to forced labor. So we're just going to keep them around, just going to make them slaves. But eventually, because God told them, listen, they're going to draw you away from me. They're your slaves now, but eventually you're gonna lay down arms and you're gonna compromise, and that's what compromise does. Listen, the way we got here, where we are right now, it just happened gradually. Just simple steps of disobedience led you all the. You know what? If I had a bow and arrow and I just changed the degrees just slightly. By the time that the arrow gets from the bow to the target, I'm thinking I'm just off just a little bit. It could be miles off. It only takes a slight degree of sin for you to turn away from God. When you'll say, Lord, I'm not going to do what you told me, but I'll do this. There's no negotiating with God. Zebulun did not drive out the inhabitants of Kitron or the inhabitants of Naholo. So the Canaanites lived among them and became subject to forced labor. Verse 31, Asher did not drive out the inhabitants of Akko or the inhabitants of Sidon or Ahalab or Asher, Azib or Halba or Akhik or Rehoboth. So the Asherites lived among the Canaanites. What were they supposed to do with the Canaanites? They lived among them, the inhabitants of the land, for they did not drive them out. Naphtali did not drive out the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh or the inhabitants of Beth Anath, but lived among them, the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, and the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh and Beth Anath became forced labor for them. Then the Amorites forced the sons of Dan into the hill country, for they did not allow them to come down to the valley. Yet the Amorites persisted in living in Mount Heres, in Aijalon, and in Shalbim. But when the power of the house of Joseph grew strong, they became forced labor. The border of the Amorites ran from the ascent to, y'all help me there? Akrabim, from Selah and upward. So now we see the challenge of committing to this charge. The challenge is when you're not obedient, sin infiltrates, and then sin influences. Don't miss that. All of that, that's the point that I'm trying to make. When you don't deal with sin, it first infiltrates, and then it influences. And then ultimately what it wants to do is dominate you. It wants to enslave you. This brings me to the last point. The charge to destroy sin's control in verse 1 through 18, the challenge of committing to that charge, and then thirdly, the consequence of not conquering sin. Chapter 2, verse 1 through 5. Now, the angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochum, and he said, I brought you up out of Egypt and led you into the land which I have sworn to your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. How many know that God is a covenant-keeping God? Listen, even in your disobedience, even in your unfaithfulness, he still remains faithful. Amen? He said that he would never leave us or forsake us. Even in our rebellion, we are still his children. But we will have to face the consequences when we don't obey him. He says, I will never break my covenant with you. And as for you, you shall make no covenant with the inhabitants of this land. Well, one, I told you to drive them out. Now that they're in the land, don't make a covenant with them. He says, you shall tear down their altars. Tear them down. Their places of worship. And God knew that. That's why he told them to drive them out, because he knew how fickle the people were. Instead of worshiping him alone, they had these high places. He said, tear all of their high places down. But they didn't do that. Look at what it says. But you have not obeyed me. What is this you have done? That's God speaking to his people. I told you to do this. You didn't do it. What is this you have done? You got to know, listen, at some point, you're going to stand before God and give an account of the life that you're living. You're going to have to give an account of the choices that you're making as a believer in Jesus Christ, the one who has been set apart as holy unto him. He says, what is this you have done? Therefore, I also said, I will not drive them out from before you. You want to hang out with dogs? Then you deal with the fleas. God is saying, I have the power to drive them out. I can take them out, but I'm not going to do it. You know why? Because you chose not to drive them out. I gave you an opportunity to drive them out, and he says, now, therefore, I will not drive them out before you. But they will become as thorns in your sides, and their gods will be a snare to you. You worship at their altars, now their gods are going to be a snare to you. Do y'all see how serious this is? This is a lesson that we learned from the judges. When you don't deal with sin, sin infiltrates. And ultimately, if you don't deal with it, it will dominate you. Is it possible to be a believer and be under the influence of sin? Absolutely. Absolutely. The whole book of 1 Corinthians were written to a people who were living like slaves when they had been set free. You know why? Because of the influence of Corinth. That church was planted there in Corinth to influence Corinth, and the problem in Corinth was Corinth influenced the church as opposed to the church influencing Corinth. How did we get here? How did the church lose so much influence in the world? Because of our disobedience. Families are in disarray. How did we get here? Slowly compromising. Instead of calling sin what it is, we say, hey, listen, everybody can do what's right in their own eyes. Listen, if you are a young man and you feel like a woman, that's okay. If you're a woman and you feel like a man, we're going to call you a man. You have the right to call yourself a man. If you're not married and you're living together, society says, hey, that's what you're supposed to do. You got to test out the cow before you get the milk or whatever they say. Did I mess that one up? Or how about a simpler one? You can have your cake and eat it too. Society is saying a whole lot of stuff that God is not saying. Society says, listen, when you get tired in your marriage, if it don't work, then you can leave. Because after all, God wants me happy. I ain't happy, so I'm leaving. Well, hold on now. Is your happiness the goal? And see, the society says that the goal in Christianity is we want to be blessed, we want to be happy. And listen, there is no way to be happy in Jesus other than to trust Him and obey Him. I know this is hard. Listen, I know this is hard. And the children of Israel had drifted so far away from God and God's promises because no one, in fact, they stopped listening to the judges. Now you know better. Do better. We got to learn these hard lessons. Listen, there are consequences for not conquering sin. Look what he says. I will not drive them out before you, for they will become as thorns in your side, and their gods will be a snare to you. When the angel of the Lord spoke these words to all the sons of Israel, the people lifted up their voices and wept. So they named that place Barcom, and there they sacrificed to the Lord. God is saying, till you do right by me, everything you do is going to fail. You didn't tear down their altars. Listen, I'm asking you this morning, whatever altar you've been worshiping at, it's time to tear down those altars. I know society is going to make you think that whatever you're struggling with is okay. But I'm telling you that God has a higher standard for you as one of His saints. We are no longer slaves to sin. Men, man up. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave Himself up for her. Wives, submit unto your husbands and see to it that you receive Singles, live your life holy as unto the Lord. Children, obey your parents. Stop making excuses for why you are not obeying God. And at the end of the day, when you obey him, you can expect his blessings, but don't expect it to be easy. Do you realize it's not easy to obey God? We got a new believer in Jesus Christ. You need to understand, if you're going to obey God, guess what? It's going to be hard. And as a church, listen, as a church, we need to help people obey God. We need to walk with each other, hold each other accountable.